Welcome to Spoiler Corner. I bet you got a lot to talk about, Spider-Man fan.
Oh my god.
Gwen Stacy dies, which is not a surprise at all. I think they've practically been building it up in the trailer, you know, like she's falling, get close up on his eye. It's like, the Amazing Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen.
The only reason it's a surprise is because we were 3/4 of the way through the movie and I'm like, holy shit, are they still gonna fit that in somehow? Like, there's so much crap going on in this movie.
But you know about how she originally died. It was supposed to be replace Mary Jane in the Raimi film.
I mean, the means in which she died, I mean, obviously in the comic, it was on the bridge. In this one, it's in a clock tower. I don't give a crap about that. The location, honestly, I thought the location was kind of cool. I'll take it as a replacement for the bridge. My biggest issue is when you read the comics, because I grew up with Spider-Man. Obviously, the issue in question came out during the Nixon administration, so I didn't read it firsthand. But as a Spider-Man fan, I've bought, you know, well, you can see some of the stuff back here, but I bought all these. Ooh, I even got one of them right here.
There you go.
So, like, I bought all of these things and these sort of collections and stuff, omnibuses as they call them or whatever. You know, and I started reading them. And, you know, as a kid, this is back before Wikipedia and stuff, you just didn't know about these things offhand. So if you just started reading this, you know, from the beginning and back issues and stuff, you know, you had no idea what was going to happen. So I read one of these collections or whatever and got to that issue and was completely traumatized. Because it's like, the only way to compare it is like killing Janet Leigh in Psycho. Oh, spoilers for Psycho, I guess. But it's like that shower scene. It's like when it was released, you just didn't see it coming. Like, well, no, you can't do that. That she's a major character. I'm like, holy shit. So it was just such a pivotal moment in really comic book history. So when the Raimi films came out, and they did the scene with the Green Goblin and Mary Jane, I like rolled my eyes and I almost wanted to get up and walk out of the theater. Because I was liking the movie for the most part up till then. I'm like, oh, it was pretty solid. When it got to that climax, I was like, bullshit. Because you know they're not going to kill off Mary Jane.
Well, on top of that, you can never recreate that
frickin'
scene.
way.
You can never recreate that scene.
You can never
now.
recreate that scene, yeah. So I just thought this is a cheap cop-out. If it was Raimi's idea or David Koepp's idea or Sony's idea, I don't care whose idea it was, you should be horsewhipped because it was terrible. So that pissed me off. And since then, going through the 3 films, when they brought Gwen Stacy into 3, like, I rolled my eyes again. So I'm like, well, you already played your card by referencing that scene in the first movie. You know you're not going to kill Gwen Stacy off. And then what they did with Gwen Stacy's character in 3 was such bullshit anyway. So I just thought, well, I'm done. I'm never going to see this frickin' scene. One of the greatest scenes in comic book history, the biggest what the fuck moments. Then this one comes around. What made this scene so, like, really emotional and really epic in the comics was the fact that Spider-Man had a history with the Green Goblin. With Norman Osborn, not Harry. So there was this connection between the two. I mean, these sort of arch rivals who constantly are going at it, and he's, you know, nearly killed Peter a number of times, and like, this is your guy, this is your main Spider-Man villain, and finally he does this, and it's like the final straw. It is the ultimate, like, oh my god, this is the worst thing you could do to Peter Parker outside of either killing Aunt May or killing Parker himself. And because of that connection they had for so long, you were so invested in like, oh my god, this is it, I can't believe he finally went too far, he finally went that far, and you know, and I know there's some...
And it was a choice for the hero, too, because he still had to save the kids.
Yeah.
You know, or the people in the car, whatever that was, or something like that, wasn't it? He still let them both go, wasn't that?
I think that was...
was it just one? Oh,
no, I think the Goblin drops Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man flings.
And then it breaks,
I mean, this is... okay, think about this, how fucked up this is. Spider-Man throws... No, it doesn't break. He throws his web, grabs her, but literally the physics of it, because he's a superhero, he can take these sort of things, but literally the whiplash effect, like, snaps her neck.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah. and which they kind of do in this, and I'm okay with that.
I actually thought
like
the way
web,
they showed
seems
it.
like his web, she kind of hits the ground, maybe.
Yeah, no,
maybe
it was the head. It was the head. I actually thought that was very effectively and cleverly done because it was like so close, and it just it's
so
like
it's
that
so close.
one
And the goblin, is so just
Rushed.
such a dick. Well, no, not. I'm just talking
you're
about the
talking
comics. In the
comic,
comics, he is such a dick. He even tells Spider-Man this. He's like, "Ha! You think I killed her? You did it! You with your stupid web snapped her neck. She was dead before she even hit the ground." Like, you know. So maybe it did break. I got to read this comic again. I mean, it's been well more than 10 years since I've taken a look at it. So
I'm sure people in the comments will let us know.
yeah, they'll let us know. So, but I mean, the point is of the scene, and like, don't go nuts correcting me. But is the cruelty of it that Spider-Man played a part in her death, and the build-up, and the fact that they had such a connection. So, here's my problem with the movie. Harry just shows up at the beginning of the film. We haven't seen any part of him.
And that's like, oh hey, we were childhood buds.
Yeah, hey, remember that? I'm like, no, you didn't show that in movie 1, jackasses. Like, what? So, we were childhood buds, and I will give this, and this is where I think Mark Webb deserves some credit, because I think this is a script thing, because if I were handed this script, I'd be like, seriously? You just want to introduce this character now? And I'd be like, alright, I'll find the best way to film it. I think he found the best way to try to reestablish a connection.
No, I thought...
So I think Webb's direction was solid, but the script just doesn't do it any favors, because when you introduce the character that quickly, you've got Harry popping up out of nowhere. So we're only just sort of given this connection, like, hey, we're childhood buds, but you're not really. You haven't seen each other in 10 years, and no amount of Mark Webb's trickery is going to be able to convince me otherwise that there's such this deep connection, and there's certainly no villainous connection. He wants Spider-Man's blood. That's a later plot development. That gets kicked into it, so
yeah,
all
that's
these
a little
things
confusing
happen.
too.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Oh, we lost the light.
We do not bad-mouth Spider-Man's blood, apparently.
Yeah. So, thanks.
You must see my face.
So all of these things get introduced in the last second. So when Harry pops up out of nowhere after Electro's been killed in this climax that goes on forever, and it's foreshadowed a bit as best Mark Webb can, but I mean the script still just he's like, I'm gonna destroy the thing you love because you know, it's just so late in the game that I'm just like, there's just no connection here. There's no rivalry that's been going on for years. There's even the amount of hate he must have for Spider-Man. I have almost a hard time believing because it's so rushed.
To the Raimi film's credit, it starts off with Peter and Harry as buds. The connection Norman and Peter have is established very quickly because of his disappointment in the other son, him wanting to hastily make a connection, and time goes by, and so it's like that connection is made.
Yeah. If Harry and the Raimi films had done this in Spider-Man 3, I think it could have worked, because you have that connection. And that brings up another point, which is the connection between Harry and his father. One of the seminal things in the comic book, which is sorely missing here, is Harry knew his father, and when his father dies, his father haunts him. I mean, literally in the comics, you see his ghost, and this is a major thing that continued on through tons of, like, sagas and issues of Harry trying to overcome that. We get none of that. You finally see Norman Osborn, and he's just in bed, and he's like, well, son, here's some medical secrets. Bye.
And on top of that, again, it's just sort of the disadvantage because you feel like, well, you can't because the Raimi films kind of did it, and it's how much do you take, how much do you not do, but you save it for another movie. You need to cut something something from this movie.
Then you need to set up Harry better. Like, I'm not against Harry doing it. I'm just against the fact that they literally showed us Norman and Harry both in the same movie, introduced both characters, because I'm sorry, Norman was like, he's referenced in Spider-Man 1, that's it.
Yeah, no, you don't
you know, so I'm more upset at the fact that they just introduced these characters and then just somehow managed to rush through all of this to kill Gwen Stacy at the end. And the funny thing is, the feeling I have for Gwen Stacy's death is because I thought they did a great job at setting up their romance. I bought
Yes.
it. It was done so well. And
as that
that's-
was going on,
yeah.
I did not want to see her go. I said, "Oh
No,
my god!
I actually
think I know she's gonna die, and I don't want to see her die."
I mean, the second Harry's talking about, or Peter's like, "Oh yeah, you know, she's the one I love," or something, and Harry's like, "Oh, it's good to know." I'm like, bingo. I'm like, she's gonna be dead by the end of this
Oh
movie.
no, hell! I had at the graduation speech. Let's
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about
that
hope
too,
and
yeah.
the future and the lives ahead of all of us. I was just like, bye bye.
Yeah, so it lost a number.
Man, we're pissing off the Raimi gods or something.
So yeah, it's the way they killed her off in such a, we just need to shoehorn it into this movie somehow. We need to just shove this in here at the very end. Really, I thought was a total disjustice, like an insult to a character that had done such a good job of building up.
You know, and well, I think your wife brought up that. She said, they're gonna make another movie anyway. Why not wait till the next movie?
Because we have damn well the Sinister Six.
Yeah,
There's
well,
so many
and now we
villains
need
in
Mary
this movie.
Jane,
You
I'm
could just
sure.
put the Sinister Six in this.
Yeah, well, why, or if you're gonna do it, axe one of the villains, just make it about the Green Goblin, but that won't sell. Okay, save the Mary Jane thing for the next one. They, just don't, sacrifice a touch of the marketing for a really, really good story that
And
people
this
are gonna
was
wanna come back
Sony's
to.
problem with 3. Like, it's so hilarious to watch them make the same damn mistakes again. Like, it's all on, well, we gotta give the families what they want. Well, you know what? We just want a good story told from beginning to end. I don't need 1,000 villains, we don't need all of this stuff. Too much stuff, it's like, almost like Halloween night. It's like somebody just shoving candy down your throat. It's like, do you want, like, somebody to come up to you who's like, hey, here's some candy, or awesome, or do you want somebody to eat it! Like, that's what Sony's doing, is eat it!
That's what I cheerfully do to myself.
Yeah, it's just too much.
But, and something that, the funeral scene, the funeral is just like, first of all, I'm sick of funeral scenes in Spider-Man films. If I had to see him standing over a grave going, I'm just fucking done. But to this film's credit, I do remember this one because they very effectively do this passage of time where he's just standing at the grave, and then you see, cut away, and then you see him in leaves in a different outfit, and then you cut away, and then you see him in snow
And the
in a
film
different
should have
outfit.
frickin' ended somewhere around there.
And
instead,
it keeps going. This
it
dumbass
keeps
ending
going.
where it's like, well, I think Spider-Man should come back. He's disappeared. Okay, whatever. Maybe he'll come back. Well, hey, we have to get the Rhino going. This dumbass ending comes out where like
some little kid's like, I'm gonna take on
and giant robotic Paul Giamatti, and I'm just like, and then Spider-Man comes in just like, well, we said 5 months passed, so that should emotionally cover everything, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna keep making the jokes again, doing my cool ass Spider-Man things. I was just like,
if I'm right, and this is the same script writing team that did Into Darkness. If that's the case, shame on you! You did it in Into Darkness, and you fucking did it again! Are you incapable of fucking having a sad ending? No, too sad. We can't have actual drama. We have to end with everything's happy, goofy, nothing to see here. Like, that's exactly what Into Darkness did. It threw out everything it was trying to do. It was like, oh, well, high five, Spock. Glad we solved that problem.
this
Good long.
movie seems very. It seems like a movie that's trying very hard to be good and well directed and well performed, but is being eaten alive by notes. That's what it seems like to me.
Totally eaten alive by studio notes, script writer notes. It's like
Producer notes,
so many notes.
Financiers, everything. We want this movie to sell. Put this in here. Put that in there. That's a downer. Make this happy. Do this. Well, we want a little bit of drama, not too much drama. Do this.
And it's a shame because I got the Gwen Stacy that really I wanted. Like she's in some ways better than the comics. I do think she's actually smarter. Like, it's been a while since I've read them, but like she's like super genius in this one, whereas she was just really smart in the comics. And I got a good romance that was kind of missing in the first one, where it was like Mary Jane and Peter with the on again, off again. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I finally got my death scene with Gwen Stacy, but it's just like, that's botched. So it's weird to get what you wanted, but not still right.
It's like, somewhere it's like, we'll let 30, 40 years pass when everybody will forget about those movies, they'll totally reboot them again, and somebody will just be like, hey, let's go really retro and just combine all the Spider-Mans together somehow and make this cool mishmash, and maybe then we'll get like our perfect Spider-Man movie that just tells all the really good stuff from the comics, but also keeps it a film and the progression from geeky Peter into cool Peter, and the villains.
Maybe we could cut our own Spider-Man film where we use the Raimi films as the flashbacks. Dude, Tobey Maguire and Garfield look enough alike.
No,
that's
not even a little.
But it's, I think trying to think, the Sinister Six thing, I will say that is where I kind of lost it a bit, because they've got the man in the shadows with the hat walking, and he walks by all of these costumes, which is the Sinister Six. You've got the Vulture, you've got the Rhino, you've got Doc Ock, which is confusing because I thought Doc Ock formed the Sinister Six, if I remember the comics right. But anyway, I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, in the comics, it was a bunch of supervillains that just kind of banded together. In this one, I'm just kind of laughing a bit because it's all an Oscorp thing, and I'm like, who designs vulture wings?
Who makes a giant fucking rhino?
Yeah, like, the flying suit I can kind of see. The octopus hands almost, but I'm like, no, really, who's like, what's really going to change the world? Flying vulture wings.
Hey, and that
mechanical vulture wings.
Just in case people don't get that that's an electric fucking guy, let's put a little lightning bolt on the side. So I still can't get over that. It's like, of all the problems, for some reason, that would
changing things like that from the comics and movie, I'm like, yeah, I'm having a hard time swallowing this, but I don't know, were there any other spoilers that...
I mean, there's stuff like with Peter's parents and stuff, but it's just like, it's secret government mumbo jumbo.
All scenes that should have been in the first movie. Like, that's what bothered me. I'm like, okay, you could have had a shorter, more coherent film if you revealed that stuff in the first movie like you should have.
I'm trying to remember what was revealed about it. I'm trying to remember. It's like something about the Spider-Man blood with his blood.
He was making
weapons,
like the super spider venom and found out it was going to be used for biological weapons, and Norman Osborn was selling it too.
Yeah, so what?
Well, exactly. You could have put that in the first film.
Who gives a fuck?
The opening I thought was actually effective with them on the plane.
But without the shaky cam.
Kind of reminded me actually of the first Abrams Star Trek, where you've got like the ship crashing and he's like staring at his wife, and it's like weird and kind of dreamlike, but I actually thought it was really cool.
Yeah, no, I liked when when it was going down. Yeah, like you said, I liked the silhouette against the window and stuff. I thought that was pretty effective.
But yeah, just so much stuff, and then just more setup for another film, and I guess that's my problem with the whole Gwen Stacy thing. I feel like it's just a plot point. Mm. And it should be the centerpiece of it should be the centerpiece of the movie.
So should Harry, any Green Goblin should be like the center.
It needs to
story.
be the Han Solo and Carbonite, or the Luke, I am your father of the movie, and instead it's just, we're going to Dagobah or something, or we got ourselves a Millennium Falcon. Like, it's just like a plot point, one of many, and it shouldn't be that. It should be the focal point of the film, and instead it's one of like,
why do you recall Luke crying when going to Dagobah? Oh my god, Dagobah, no!
Oh, of course he cried. He was nearly going to lose his X-Wing until Yoda's just like,
how'd that go again? Okay. Just wanted to make
sure. He was a whiny priss in that movie.
He's a whiny priss in all of them.
Oh, okay. And speaking of things like unresolved from the first film and how they switch upon this one, what's the one thing we still haven't resolved?
Where the lizard guy went, or did he die?
Who killed Uncle Ben?
Oh yeah!
Where's the whole search for Uncle Ben's killer? Still!
Yeah, wait a minute!
Still!
Yeah, he kind of gave up on that day. So, you know what? Screw that shit. I'm gonna find out my parents at other platforms.
I'm gonna find Uncle Ben's killer, and still 2 films in.
They had so many platforms going on, they forgot the ones they set up in the last one. You're right.
Yeah, like that's how
I totally forgot
this
about that.
stupid script is.
Wow, I just totally forgot.
I know, isn't it amazing? I thought about that on the drive back. I'm like, hey, wait a second.
That was a big thing. Well, see, now they're liking that when we diss.
Thank you, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, because
Spider-Man.
So,
I don't even remember Uncle Ben from that movie now, which is a problem.
No, I know. I remember Martin Sheen. I do remember him.
I don't. Wait, what was his famous line?
With great not responsibility comes great not power. Something like that.
Well, there is a great line. I will say this. There is a great line where Sally Field or Aunt May says something effective like, "Well, it's just like your Uncle Ben used to say it." I was like, something responsibility, something great power. Yeah.
So, yeah, there it is. This is probably the most confusing. I mean,
I've never been so torn on a movie. It's much like the first film. I'm like, so many things I love, and so many things are like, what the f.
Yeah, so I still liked it. I'm glad I saw it, but yeah,
I liked it. While I was also being simultaneously insulted at the same time as a Spider-Man fan. Maybe that's Mark Webb's contribution, because it certainly didn't come from the damn script, I can tell you that.
So, to quote the movie, it's complicated.
It is.
I'm Spider-Man.